a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the facts.
So when I saw that, and I was frightened, I was, scared to death to see that. Joe knew that this was not a good performance. I mean, as we walked off the stage, he whispered to me, Jill, I really, I'll put it nicely, screwed up, didn't I? And I said, yeah, Joe, you did.
Joe Biden is incredibly competent and he's incredibly effective. I know that he is ready for this campaign. I have seen how effective he has been up close and personal.
Democrats stridently, including on this program, said time and again that his cognitive abilities were fine. How do you convince the public that Democrats are telling the truth now?
I think Democrats do have to be honest about the mistakes that we made in 2024. Obviously, in retrospect, Joe Biden should have stepped away from that race. We should have had an open contest.
I want to talk about the Joe Biden that Republicans want you to see and the pipeline of videos that aren't telling the full truth. The RNC wants to weaponize questions around Biden's age. He, like every other human being, is aging. And that process of aging, it seems, is having an impact on his ability to do the job. What kind of political system covers that up and makes it okay to lie to people about what everybody knows is true?
Okay, that first you saw former First Lady Jill Biden. She's now admitting that, yes, she did tell former President Joe Biden right after the CNN debate with Trump that he botched it. She said to the world that he was great. And then you also heard Democrat Senator Chris Murphy. He also repeatedly insisted throughout 2023 and 2024 that Joe Biden was fine, that he was fit to serve another term. Now Senator Murphy finally admits Joe Biden was not okay, but he's not apologizing for misleading America in that clip. And then that was CNN host Abby Phillips within days, saying that the Republicans were weaponizing Joe Biden's cognitive decline. No, they weren't. They were reporting on it. The world was reporting on it. They saw it, blaming it first as just Republican attacks, then saying, yeah, they did mislead the American people. Let's bring in from House Armed Services, Georgia Congressman Rich McCormick. Congressman McCormick is also an emergency room physician. Congressman, it's great to see you again. Thanks for joining us. Looking back on all this, how could the First Lady, how could Democrats and the media think that Joe Biden was fit enough to serve another 4 years? They kept insisting he was fine until Trump exposed him in that debate.
I think the writing was on the wall well before that. I think when he was running in the first race, quite frankly, you could already see the decline. He was nowhere near as competent as he was even 4 years before that. When he was vice president, he didn't look the part. He couldn't debate. He couldn't actually present a message. He couldn't even ride a bike. He couldn't go upstairs. It was obvious before he was even elected that he had big-time decline, but it shows you how much in disarray the Democratic Party was, to see how extreme they'd become, that this is the only guy that they thought was electable, and he won the primary outright. But the writing was already on the wall. You could, any ER doc, any doctor in general, anybody who has half a brain could see where he was going before the election.
Let's show Jill Biden. It got to the point where Jill Biden was running cabinet meetings. If we have photos of that, let's show it. They were putting out to the world that they were the ones to save the world from Trump. Axios is now reporting Biden's own aides, Jill and Joe Biden's aides, say both of them are disingenuous, selfish, should be going out on book tours for their books they're writing, ruining it ahead of the midterms for the Democrats. This is after the Bidens pushed the Democrat Party, pushed the media to defend Joe Biden's fitness for office. How's this going to play with voters?
Well, if you think about it, who was running the country? Was that auto pen really making big decisions? Who was calling the shots? They've never answered the mail on that. We know it wasn't Joe. He didn't have any sort of cognitive capacity to make those decisions, those huge decisions, being the most powerful person in the world being run by an auto pen. We still don't know who's made those pardons, who was making the big foreign policy debacles, which we saw the withdrawal from Afghanistan horribly run, pushed from the top. What other decisions were pushed by his staff or his wife or whomever that were horrible decisions? Those are the things we need to come to grips with, because I think that has big time downwind consequences.
No voter elected Jill Biden. No House or Senate confirmation hearing said Jill Biden should run cabinet meetings. This is about Jill Biden's need for power. That's what critics in D.C. are saying. Watch this from Jill Biden in 2024 saying Biden is fit for another 4 years. And then watch her say now she thought he was having a stroke in that debate with Trump in 2024. Watch.
This is a massive amount of physical and emotional stress. It would be on any person. Your husband is 81. At the end of a second term, he'd be 86. As his life partner of 46 years, is there a part of you that is worried about his age and health? Can he do it?
He can do it, and I see Joe every day. I see him out, traveling around this country. I see his vigor. I see his energy. I see his passion every single day.
Mm-hmm. So to those who say, I can't vote for Joe Biden, he's too old, what do you say?
I say his age is an asset. I was frightened because I had never, ever seen Joe like that before or since. Never.
Or since.
Yes. Or since.
What happened?
I don't know what happened. I mean, as I watched it, I thought, oh my God, he's having a stroke. And it scared me to death.
Okay, back in 2024, she said his age was an asset. Then she said she was afraid he was having a stroke. She saw him up close and personal. How can she say his age was an asset?
It was such a dishonest argument. Now, age really shouldn't have anything to do with your cognitive ability, but we know as people get older, that's something that struggles in many people. Obviously, President Trump is still super sharp, remembers most everything, but he's an enigma. And I think the fact that she was lying to the American public, openly lying, because we could all see it. It was easy to comprehend. You didn't have to be a doctor. That is worrisome. That who would have been running the country right now if he was in the presidency?
Right. Congressman McCormick, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's always a pleasure to see you, sir. Now listen to this.